think this time around is water and protecting the Delta. There have been conversations about having a conveyance facility go through the Delta, and my district that I hold now in the Assembly in particular is difficult because the farmers to the south of Tracy, half of my district in the Assembly, don't have enough water supply, and farmers to the north are very concerned about degradation to the Delta. And as policymakers, we've continued to have the same conversation rather than new conversations of what possible solutions might be. And I think that that's the fault of policymakers in great part for not coming up with solutions other than the proposal of a conveyance facility. You know, I think that it's wrong-minded for us to pit farmers against farmers. We need to be looking at other opportunities. And I've tried 2 years in a row to introduce legislation that would allow the state to have a water bank of sorts where they would keep an inventory of regional projects, not just in the Central Valley area, but regional water projects statewide, so that state policymakers would have a sense of what projects are out there, how much money is needed to bring them online, how much additional acre feet of water could be brought into the supply, and at what point that could occur. And we might find out, in fact, that these regional water projects could bring additional supply sooner for less money. But policy leaders plowed forward with making plans for a conveyance facility without looking at what the other options are. If I'm elected, I'm going to bring it back again. I've introduced the legislation twice. I think as long as the conveyance facility is on the front burner, any other competing proposal doesn't fare well. But we've had this conversation about a conveyance facility for 30 years that I know of, and we keep bringing back the same meal that you didn't like last month, you're not going to like it this month, and I think that we're bound for failure again. I think that the recent term limits extension change will have an impact on that, because we will see policymakers in each house having a longer time to be there and spend more time on long-term projects where they actually do become vested in working in something long-term. And when you have something long-term that's complicated, you actually need to work with your colleagues to get the result that you're looking for. So I think that that will be helpful. And you know, I'm one that has always worked both sides of the aisle. I'm from a district where I work with Republicans and Democrats alike, and many of the things that I have worked on have required support from both parties. And I'm proud that I do have support from both parties and that I've worked with both.